I'm sorry I can't be with you today to deliver my tribute to Phil, but we are visiting family in Texas for Christmas. I've always thought of my cousin Phil as the brother I never had. We were very close in age and have made a lifetime of good memories, amply assisted by our crazy families. Our family Christmas plays were legendary, with elaborate plots written by Phil and my sister Chris. It was an opportunity to let our hair down, and we took that opportunity in spades. Emergency Ward 10, Star Trek, Pinky and Perky, The Fleetwood Military Tattoo, The Emperor's New Clothes, Mutiny on the Bounty, and many others were all reinterpreted as the plays what we wrote, all performed with great gusto and unprofessionalism. In all our years together, Phil and I had barely had a cross word, except when as a child he once told me, "I am totally exasperated with you." I thought, how polite. However, I was totally exasperated with him when he asked me one day to film an action shot of him riding his bike towards my dad's car. He said he would stop within inches of the bumper. At that time, my dad's pride and joy was not me, but an Austin A40, which he had pampered and polished so much that it became a different colour than when new. As Phil instructed, I sat in the car on that rainy day in Oldham with Phil's Super 8 movie camera filming his approach at speed. I noticed his expression changing from supreme confidence to panic, because with wet brake blocks he could not stop. He and his bike landed squarely on the bonnet of my dad's car, my dad's precious car, Phil's face pressed hard against the windscreen. The bonnet needed repair and a respray, but the paint colour never really matched. The Super 8 film never saw the light of day, but I get flashbacks now, even today. Phil was always interested in electrics, and we both seemed to be focused on winding up our grandma, with whom Phil was staying at the time. Cap gun shootouts in the living room with the furniture moved to create barricades were great fun, but that was only the start of it. Phil thought he would make an internal burglar alarm. Meccano seemed to offer good prospects, with flashing lamps and bells, triggered as the living room door opened. Ably assisted by me, it worked extremely well, but the aesthetics and construction, with 240 volts coursing through its exposed mechanical skeleton, could have had disastrous consequences. We moved on to installing loudspeakers under the beds of unsuspecting guests at Phil's dad's rather spacious officer home in Oldham Air Force Base. These were timed to alarm at 2 a.m, very successful indeed, but there were repercussions and exasperation. Having asked Phil to be best man at my wedding to Jill, there was further exasperation when, as we left for the ceremony, Phil snapped the handle off the front door of our new marital home. When the newlyweds returned home, we had to borrow pliers from the neighbours to gain access. Jill was exasperated, but Phil was highly amused. I also well remember midnight mass at Much Haddam Church. I regaled Phil of a previous comment from his mother that Much Haddam was the home of Henry Moore, the famous sculptor. He was a man of great rectitude, she said. Phil's dad immediately added that meant he had a big bottom. Well, I was sorry I mentioned this because Phil started laughing, which set me off, and the whole pew was vibrating and we almost got thrown out of the church. I could go on all day because we shared so many moments like this throughout our lives. In more recent years, we've shared many weekend breaks away together. Phil, Linda and various members of the family. One of the aims was to find accommodation as close as possible to a village pub and preferably in it. At our most recent stay in October, Phil booked a fabulous hotel at Rutland Water when once again our weekend was filled with his great sense of humour, not least when he handed us the bill. I now raise a glass to Phil, my cousin and great friend. I will miss you dearly.